I went on dating apps in Mexico. This is what happened. So I'm an American on a long-term stay in Mexico. And importantly, I do not speak barely a word of Spanish. I'm also not in like a tourist city on the beach, right? So I was aware when I came here that I'm not counting on a bunch of people speaking English. So I really didn't know what to expect, but here were my results. So for starters, I used the same photos that I used on my profiles back in the US. I did update the bios. I used both Tinder and Bumble. A YouTuber creating content in Mexico, I saw in one of his videos, said that in Mexico, Tinder is used for more serious things than the reputation it has in the US as like a hookup app, essentially. I have lived all over the US, so I have sort of a cross-section of experiences under my belt on the dating apps. I lived in a small town in central Michigan for a while, and well, that comes with all the challenges that being in a small town doing online dating comes with. Small pool, population centers are far away. It was fine. I did fine. I had better results in Miami, which is a surprise for such an average looking guy, but partially because I am politically conservative and signal that. In Miami, though, you had the sense that there were a lot more women strictly playing the money game, which I think probably anybody who knows anything about Miami would not be surprised to hear. In the Seattle area, I didn't get shit, which is unsurprising as somebody who is publicly identifying himself as traditional, being into traditional marriage. Not exactly the right demographic match for me in Seattle. Plus, I wouldn't be caught dead dating somebody with a septum piercing, so that automatically just eliminates like 60% of the single women in the Seattle area. The dating apps in Mexico, for me, have been a fucking bonanza. I'm not just getting a lot of matches, I'm getting a ton of really high quality matches. Extremely beautiful women, educated women, women with serious careers. I personally don't really give a shit about that, but I know some of you will. What I look for are women who are family oriented, who desire to be homemakers, stay-at-home moms. And Mexico, as a country that leans much more traditional than the US in terms of their social dynamics, that's a pretty good fit for me, as it turns out. The real surprise for me, though, was how much more action I was getting on Bumble than on Tinder. As in the US, the user base on Tinder in Mexico is significantly larger than it is on Bumble. I've been thinking about why that is, and I have a couple of hypotheses. Number one, and I confirm this, the male to female ratio on Tinder is skewed more toward men than it is on Bumble. So there's just like a lot more competition. It's way easier for you to get drowned out and slip through the cracks, even on somebody's radar who might be into you, simply because there's the constant flood of sausage into these girls' inboxes. Second, and in spite of what I was told by that YouTuber, I believe that the data shows that the women on Bumble are more serious. So maybe for you, maybe you're just looking for a hookup. Maybe you've been rotting your brain with passport bro content and you're just here to hook up quick. For me personally, I'm looking for something real and substantial. So somebody being serious, people on the platform being more serious, is definitely a bonus to me. I have this perception about women being more serious on Bumble from the fact that I see a lot more low effort, lazy slop, not completed profiles on Tinder compared to Bumble. It just looks like more effort is being put in by the women using Bumble. So, but to me here, as an American, this is the biggest kind of culture shock aspect of dating in Mexico. Things move more slowly than they do back in the States. And by that, I mean physicality, being physical. Now, so at the risk of getting a little TMI with you guys here, I share this for purpose of comparison only. Back in the US, I don't know that I have ever once, maybe my first girlfriend in high school, that I have ever once waited past the third date to go to bed with someone. I had been seeing somebody for 6-8 weeks, something like that. And we basically did nothing physical in that time. Personally, for me, this is totally okay. I am, as I mentioned already, looking for something quite serious. And if she's worth spending a lifetime with, she's worth going slow with. But it is an adjustment. And if you come here and try to date locals without understanding that that adjustment can be made, you might totally misread the signals. Or maybe if you're a guy just looking for fun, maybe you're not looking in the right place. There's a very good chance if you are dating a single Mexican woman that she might live with her parents still. So you have to make yourself aware of the fact that things like overnights, I mean, that might not happen before marriage. So in terms of how I manage the language barrier, because again, don't speak Spanish. Number one, I'll just put it right in my bio. No habla español. My bio will be written in English. It won't stop you from matching with women who do not speak English at all, but you know, it'll put the right bat signal out for sure. When I do match, I'll just ask directly, do you speak English? Another thing that I'll do is after we've done a little connecting through the platform, I'll ask her to go to WhatsApp or Telegram. And at that point, I'll start moving the conversation to voice notes instead. Now, you may not have these same kind of priorities that I do, but the logic here is this. Having strong conversational chemistry is extremely important to me. It's an important way for me to connect with somebody. And I am not going to be able to sustain a meaningful relationship with somebody that I can't have fun, engaging, interesting conversations with. Some women can read or write English better than they can speak it. And so I really want to get a sense of what it's going to be like when we're sitting at a bar or a restaurant together talking. Because I don't want to be building an attraction and a connection to somebody that I need to involve a translator app into the middle of to be able to facilitate that connection. Okay, so let's talk about some basic safety then, because if you are like me and have a hyperventilating mother, you might get sent articles or State Department warnings about how it's unsafe to date on dating apps in Mexico, kidnappings, etc. Those stories you read about, that's what happens to fucking morons, okay? You're not a moron. You're here watching this. So let me get you up to speed so that you can be safe. So let's talk about physical safety first. I don't care if you are in small town, rural America, if you're in the fucking heart of darkness, if you're somewhere else, if a woman on a dating app wants to meet you at her home or your home for the first time, if there is not a public meet and the plan is just, why don't you come over and let's hook up, guess what? You're doing something really fucking risky and dumb. Really fucking risky and dumb. This is not a Mexico safety tip. This is an online dating safety tip. If you are in a country where you are given legitimate concerns about safety, then go slow, okay? Do several public meets. Don't tell her where you live. Don't try to bring her back to your place. Don't go to her place alone. I swear to God, if these guys could just think with this head, then there would be so much less fear-mongering and so many less of these goddamn articles about Americans and Westerners getting got on dating apps. Okay, so next thing, catfish. Okay, again, if you aren't a cum-brained idiot, you might know this, but even back in the US, there are a ton of accounts of women on dating apps that are not women, that are men pretending to be women. And there's a whole bunch of possible motives for that. Scams, collecting blackmail material, just run-of-the-mill pit collectors, pathetic guys with nothing going on that are just getting desperate and lowering their standards. Gay guys living out a secret fantasy. Men who want to be women, again, living out a secret fantasy. You need to verify every single woman that you come into contact with on a dating app in your home country or any other in the world. So again, I use voice notes for this. You have to use a critical ear, because the quality and the realism of AI speech is getting better. And so I move whole conversations to voice notes. I will send video messages. I'm holding up my camera, talking to the video, and it's a message that I'm going to text to that person because I want a video back. Do the basic due diligence to make sure that the woman you're talking to is the woman you're talking to. Okay, and so the last thing, and this one is going to sometimes require more trial and error, but you are going to get women matching with you on the apps, assuming that you're rich because you're from the US or whatever. This one's complicated, and I think that a lot of guys have an inbuilt sensitivity to looking at this with clear eyes. So let's discuss some basic principles real quick. Do gold diggers exist? Yes, absolutely yes, they exist, no doubt about it. But here's the reality that a lot of guys miss. Many women are not attracted to a man's money. They are attracted to the things about the man that enabled him to make money. You have to understand this distinction, and I don't care where you're dating, because this will be true everywhere. So here is like a practical framework so that you can weed out the users and gold diggers from the women who are sincerely interested in you. So me personally, I like to go to like a nice place to eat. I like to have that experience. And obviously, in a lot of cases, that is going to be a more expensive restaurant. So it's not uncommon for me to front load with a nice place with great atmosphere on a first date. The make or break happens on the second date. I will want to go do something more casual and significantly cheaper. Perfect example that I could give you for any city in Mexico. Take her to the big mercado in the city and get street food. If she has a problem with that, she's not there to hang out with you. She's there to get that experience. But if she's down, then congratulations, you got yourself a girl legitimately interested in you. So here's the last thing I want to say. Do not travel to another country because you want to date the women there. Don't let that be your reason. That is some grass is always greener on the other side thinking, and it's not going to serve you. There are beautiful women everywhere. There are high value women everywhere. Do not fall for the passport bro shit. Don't do it. Don't be those guys. They fucking suck ass and they're cringe as hell. Go to a place that you want to visit and date while you're there. And maybe you find something serious. Maybe you have some fun if that's your priority. But you will definitely have the opportunity to learn so much about the city and the country from a local. So even if it's not a good date, even if it's not a lifetime connection, you will get so much out of it. I highly recommend it. If you didn't see my video where I talk about how I get around Mexico when I do not speak Spanish at all, you can see that video here.